Hello, and welcome to some more Krastorio 2. My name is Trismegistus, and in this series I'm playing through Krastorio 2, having tried to play it last year and not quite got on with it. But this is the fourth stream of this series, and I've actually been quite enjoying it. I think the key to that might have been that I've turned biters onto passive, so that's kind of taken a lot of the pressure off to progress. Before we really start, though, let me just bring this across. I'm just going to quickly need to switch to the screen capture mode. There we go. There we go. I'm just going to quickly highlight. So they did another blog post. So Factorio Friday Facts 368. So unlike the last one, I'm not going to go through this one because it's a bit more of a techie one. But they've been talking about the... so it basically goes over three things. The first... Well, it's not really a techie one, but... first one is about the Steam Deck. And the second one is about this Ghost versus in PvP. And then there's this machine-readable documentation. So this is more techie. Basically, they've been improving the documentation. The ghosts thing is basically if you played in multiplayer, it looks like you could basically cheat. Well, not quite cheat, but you could. There were some exploits you could do with power poles and other things with ghosts because they weren't interactable. But this was obviously the Steam Deck, and it's worth, if you're sort of interested, it's worth having a quick look at this video. You can just find it by going to the Factorio website and getting the blog up. But basically, it gives like a little video of it running. One of the things that's interesting because I'm in the queue for ordering a Steam Deck. I'm mostly interested in it as like an indie machine, basically, like so I can play indie games wherever I want. I'm not massively interested in playing AAA games on it. But one of the interesting, so when they did the Steam Deck announcement, they showed Factorio being played. And one of the things that I was puzzled about was it doesn't, because Factorio doesn't have controller support, and it has a heck of a lot of shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts, and it's not got, as I say, no controller support. So there's none of the buttons are mapped, and of course, effectively, the Steam Deck has a controller system, but it's a bit more complicated than that. Because it's got these two trackpads on it and it's got some buttons behind. And so it's not even like an Xbox controller, basically, or a PlayStation controller. And it shows it being played. And it plays, well, what it says is it runs quite well on the deck, which the early reviews have been coming out. And it seems to be quite a good system for what it is, much more powerful than the Switch, as we were kind of all expecting. But what it says here is there's no native support for Factorio on the deck, and you have to basically set a lot of the buttons up yourself, and that's a little bit complicated. And what they seem quite keen on it. So the implication, well, what they say is that they're going to possibly work on controller support, which would be quite interesting, because that would start to open up the possibility of like a proper console version of the game, which could be I actually thought they might do that rather than an expansion or something. They work on a version for Xbox and PlayStation. But yeah, so one of the things it says is that there is no default setting. Now, apparently there are because of the way the SteamOS works, there's like fan mods, fan setups, basically. So as in fans of the game can set up a profile and you potentially download that. But it says they may work on control supports. But one of the things that's particularly interesting is the time frame they talk about for that, because they make it clear that the expansion is still the priority. Where does he say it? So, as a proper controller, we are expanding proper controller support to Factorio. This will allow going to see a controller. Work on the expansion is still the top priority for the team, and controller support is no easy task. So if it comes to Factorio, expect it much later this year. For now, this game will get some GUI fixes and improvements, so it played at 100% GUI scale and blah, 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 blah. But that much later this year... oh, hello. Crazy Bacon here. Welcome back to the stream. This is... I'm just running through... Basically, they've done the new Friday Facts, 368, so I'm not going to run through it. I did a run through when they did 367 because it had some stuff about the expansion that was quite interesting to me. But basically, this is the Steam Deck. There's a little video on the blog post of them playing this on Factorio on the Steam Deck, and it runs quite well. But they also hint this here, I think, is a suggestion, or it's sort of a unintentional thing of when we might expect the expansion. Because I say if they're going to work on, well, there are two options. It's like they're going to do the controller support after the expansion is done, so they're not really working on it. And that in that case, much later this year would tend to suggest we're getting the expansion this year, or they are going to work on it in parallel, but that's going to slow them down in terms of controller support. So even there, getting the expansion perhaps by Christmas is the implication, maybe. So we may be a little closer than I was fearing for the expansion. But yeah, I just thought it was worth, so if you are interested in that, I say one of them at the end there is a bit techie, and this is only really, it's fairly interesting, but it's really only relevant if you're a multiplayer player, like as in competitive multiplayer, because it's basically saying you can sort of cheat with ghosts. But yeah, it's worth watching if you're interested in the Steam Deck and controller support. But yeah, so what we're doing today is playing a bit more Krastorio 2. I have done a little bit of work between the last stream and this one to clear out the biters, basically. So we had quite a few small nests dotted around here. So I've been and wiped them out. I did it basically using the companion drones, because as we discovered last time, there's I don't know about an exploit, but these guys will go and wipe out the biters without the biters even responding. I have actually tested it in normal play, and if these guys in normal play, with the biters on aggressive, they will attack the companion drones if they attack the biters. But in passive mode, they don't seem to trigger any kind of attack, so they are literally just a free biter deletion tool in this particular configuration. And I say, I'm not fussed about really combating the biters as such. You do actually need them because, you don't need them, but one of the techs, as I discovered last time, this one? No, which one is it? I might not have unlocked it actually. In fact, let's get some more research running. Oh, it's the next one. There you go. So this is the next one. So this biter research data, which is like the equivalent of grey flasks in the main game, requires biomass. And to get biomass, you need to basically, you can harvest it just from, I'm not sure any are in range, but these nests generate this biomass around them. It's creep, basically. Around them, and basically you can go and harvest that. You can actually see it on the map. That purple stuff is the biomass, and it'll just generate out. So if I left them for infinite time, it would cover the map basically. And you can harvest it without triggering aggression. So you technically don't need to kill the biters, but I'm going to build a lot of stuff around here, so it was just worth clearing them out. The other thing I also did was clear out the trees, so we've got loads of trees gone, and again these guys are really useful for that, because they'll just clear out the trees, and because they've got power packs on, they you don't need to recharge them or anything like normal bots, so, or the nano bots, so yeah, so we're sort of ready. I didn't actually start that research, did I? There we go. So we're kind of ready to... Oh, is that going to blast through in seconds? Okay. We're kind of ready at a stage where I'm thinking about making a bus. And so what we're going to do with one is basically have the actual bus running along here. We'll put the smelting at the top here. And we'll do all the sort of oil products down here, because we've got a couple of nice crude oil patches. Whilst really quick. What's it worth doing? Don't know why we're right the way down the bottom. I guess we should unlock that one as well, shouldn't we, really? Yeah, let's do that one as well. I do have a queue on this, actually, don't I? So I could do, for example, modules and... In fact, we might do mining prod and let it just sort of chunk away on that. Because I don't think I need... No, I don't need like chemical for that. So what about... Oh, I do need chemical for that one though, so we can't do a second one. But I could also do maybe... I mean, we could do stack inserters and that opens up, you know, bonus. And then we need chemicals. What else could we queue up? I mean, most of it, you know, is military tech because I've just unlocked the military thing, but I haven't got that set up and running, so we couldn't actually do that one. Maybe let's just unlock modules. That gives more things we can research. Okay. So I think last time, unless I'm very much mistaken, did we not? Ah, that's right. I think I've unlocked... Have I unlocked robots? Worker robot speed, let's find it in there. No, I haven't, have I? Okay. So we need to do... Okay, so it looks like we can't really... What I want to do, obviously, is get the robots to... I mean, I could use the companion drones, but I want you know, the robots to basically build the bus for us. So we kind of need to unlock them. Which therefore means we're going to have to set up chemical tech card production. I'm not fussed about the military, as I say, because that's, you know, the vitals on passive. So, yeah, we can't do anything until... Okay, so we can have them queued up, but we'll have to set up blue tech cards. So we'll do that first and get ourselves moving towards robots, because it's always worth having some robots ready to do the work for you. It's just going to take a little second. Means I can clear up those. There we go. So, how do we make blue science? So we're going to want to make it here somewhere, and we're going to make it... Oh, right, okay. So we need blank tech cards again. Glass we're already making. Are we making advanced circuits? I don't think we are. So we've got green circuits there. Can't see any advanced circuits. So how do we make advanced circuits in this? Let's have a look and see. Oh, electronic components. Okay. Because that was something we unlocked. Now, am I making them anywhere? I don't think I am. Because we did the whole silicon thing. Because we needed that for solar. In fact, that's a point. How are we doing? Oh, I've got loads of power. Okay. So we've got some silicon here. Because I just want to set this up so that we can unlock bots, basically. I don't really want to do any particularly big production here, other than, as I say, sort of belts and stuff to do, you know, to make the bus, as it were. Because I need to work out how many lanes of everything I need, or I want anyway. So, to make red circuits, we need green circuits, components, and copper cables. To make electronic components, we need glass, silicon, and plastic bars. Now, plastic bars we are already making, and are up here somewhere. We've been making them without any use for them, but now we've got a use for them. We've already got plastic. It's the silicon we need to get over. Okay, so how about we do a bit of good old-fashioned spaghetti and just sort of bring it along here, maybe? I mean, we could try and sneak it in that gap, but I'm just thinking we make... Because I got sulfuric acid as well. How long do these take? Well, they've got 20-second craft time, but you get 5. Okay. Oh, it's the same. Okay. Huh, I wonder if all of the cards have the same craft time. Huh, okay, that's interesting. So we just need 4 again, then, basically. So let's put that in. Like that. I guess probably be better if I made a little space, because we're going to need to bring something up there, probably something up there. And then we only need 4 of these. So we can... No, let's leave a gap there. We can do something like that. And we can pop a little pipe in there. Take that. Oh yes, this is enormous in this mod. We don't need it to be enormous, but let's just take it over there. Like that. Okay, so where is the sulfuric acid then? Up here somewhere. I could probably align it with... So we could maybe sneak it through here. I mean, I did set these up so that we could potentially put beacons in, but I think we can probably... I think we'll be alright sort of doing that. So how does that line up with our... Oh, perfectly. Huh, okay. managed to fluke that. So let's connect this up to the actual sulfuric acid, like that. And then we also need plastic. Because what I'm thinking is maybe we divert this down and I just literally take it down here somewhere, you know, curve it round. We stick it together with the silicon. And then we can, because it's red circuits we need. We've got glass. We've got tech cards. So if we do tech cards and glass on this lane here, how can we get those over? So we could maybe have a bit of an underground there. Oops, that's not quite long enough. It's also backwards somehow. There we go. And then split that on there. I know. Put that in there. Hop, skip and a jump that across there. And then we want glass on the right-hand side. Where is some glass? There's some glass here. So I could maybe take it out of this gap. So if we put that there... No, it's not going to fit, is it? We can just weave it back on itself, I guess. So if we... Oh, why did I do that? I need to do that one. And then we can take that under there. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh. Not there, though. Let's do it there. Because we only need half. I mean, it's probably not really sort of saving as much of anything, really, by doing anything there, but that gets us half a lane of glass. Yeah, there we go. Needs to go there. So if we put this here instead, because we also need the glass for the... Wait, do these need glass itself? They do, and then advanced circuits also need glass, don't they? Because they need these electronic components. Okay. Yeah. So if we just take this along here, whoops, like that, then we could have a tiny little production area of electronic circuits here. Well, we need electronic components here. But that gets us the tech cards, the glass, sulfuric acid. So we just need advanced circuits, which we can put on there. Let's see, outputs there. I do have medium power poles now. The joy of medium power poles. Input here. And there, and there, and there. Because presumably we're going to need advanced circuits for something else, so we might as well make a few. Would this be better? I'm just thinking. We could maybe do a full lane of that. Oh, that's a bit messy, isn't it? Let's do that as well then. If we need them for advanced circuits as well, that gives us a little bit more. Not that I'm using them for anything afterwards, so maybe effectively the end of the line. So, we've got sulfuric acid. Have we? Yeah. So they're all ready to go, apart from the advanced circuits. Now, how do we actually make them? Copper cable. Okay. Electronic components. So we need to get that silicon and plastic line over, really. Yeah, let's just turn this one round. Oh, well, actually, no, let's take it over the top. Through there. Give a bit of space in case modules do become worthwhile at some point. Take this down here. Coolio. And then... yeah, we want to combine it with a half silicon line there, really. How am I going to get that round there? Which side is it on? It's on the bottom side, isn't it? Is that too far away to... yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, let's not do that then. Flip that round. Like that. Take that over there. Would I be able to get it across one of these, I think, maybe? Oh no, we want it down there anyway. Okay. Let's just take that there. There we go. Proper spaghetti this. Blimey. Making a right mess. Oh, it's too far. That's too far as well, is it? Yeah. Let's swap that out for a medium. Cross there. Over to there. Down that way. Is that on the... no, it's on the wrong side, isn't it? Right. That. There we go. That's a bit ugly, but that'll do. And then if we just run this way. So this is our half glass, half plastic. No, sorry, half silicon, half plastic lane, which when combined with those. So now that I've got the thingamy mod, I can work out the ratios without having to tax my poor little brain. So now that we've got this one. So, net machine 0.5. So, 1 to 1. So it's 2 to 1. So if I think that's what that means. Yeah. So one of those will support 2 of those. Okay, and how many do they need to support all of those? Oh, so that'll be perfect, basically. So net machines is 0, which means that it's a perfect match, basically. So if I take that out, we would see that we were 1 machine short for red circuits, and we were producing too many electronic components. So it's 2 to 1. So if we actually do more of these, because we're bound to need them. Well, I say that. I don't actually know if we need them for bots, but we're bound to need them for something anyway. Right, so now we've got this line. Where do I want to put that? because we need the red circuits there. So one of those will support 2 machines. Right? How about we just sort of take a... Oh, it's the wrong way around, isn't it? How about we just take a split here somewhere? This is a real mess, but that's fine. Up there like that. Okay. Right, so electronic components is a 2-to-1. Unfortunately, that's in that gap. Can I do that? I can. It's a terrible thing I did there. Travesty against mankind. Right. Oh, except we want we do still want to split that. Maybe do that. That. Oops. And then you can just nip across there, up there, across there. That'll do. Bing bong bing. Right, so this gives us a bit of room for... It's a very big tree. Very dead tree now. Electronic components. Oh wait, it's 2-to-1 the other way around, isn't it? I just did that and I forgot. Brilliant. So this is that. Yeah, it's that way round. Okay. I don't... Oh, it was the other way round. So what else do electronic components need? They need copper cables and electronic circuits. Okay. So we could maybe... I bet one cable machine could support probably all of them. So half a machine extra, yeah. So one cable machine would support all of them, I think. Because I want 4 of these, basically. So we could have that there. I mean, we could move that up. Oh no, we couldn't. There's blooming acids in the way. So you get... So it's got all of them. And then, so I'm basically thinking we feed that in there. That in there. And then we sort of double that up. And then we have maybe a lane here. And we can put a copper cable machine somewhere here. And we can bring the green circuits up. In fact, green circuits are just there. So we can make that a copper cable and green circuit lane. And then we can have the red circuits moving that way. We'll have to move that up. If these spam things out, I can always use the near side lane and all that sort of stuff. There we go. Will you cover everything? Looks like it. Yeah, so we've got green circuits here. Have we got any copper nearby? Not really. We could always bring it up that way though. So if we just do a... That's a bit of an unfortunate misalignment, isn't it? Maybe if we just do that. Oh, it's on the wrong side, isn't it? Like that then. Wait, that's still wrong. So if I do that, pop that across there. Because really we want that, actually, if we put that there, then this can output copper cables that way. And we can bring some copper up here, hopefully. Yeah, that should work. Okay, up there. Like so. I was thinking the other week that it was the other day actually that was rather on it. I think it was somebody was watching. I was sort of going on about how I couldn't do spaghetti anymore, and and this is just the most spaghetti mess you've ever seen. Right, so we can output double that because I haven't got the stack bonus yet, so it's only firing out one at a time. So that's waiting on components. Are we all running? I think we should be all running. Get some lights on the subject. In fact, let's put some there. Like that. Wait, don't we? Da-da-da. I have a box at the end here. Have I got any boxes? Yes, I have. So we're about to need them for something, so we might as well just stick a few in a box. Huh. Doesn't actually seem to be coping. Have I got the maths wrong there? No, one copper cable should be okay. There. You're running. You're running. You're running. That's just slow, isn't it? Cool. Okay, so that's blue cards. Now it's going to dump out some of this rubbish I picked up. Do-do-do. Put that in there. Guess we could get rid of this silicon in there. Oh, it's not producing very much silicon, is it? Is that because that's slow, or... Oh, it's not loading it in very quickly. Okay, so we can have another one there. Yeah, looks like that's just coping. I don't know that these... Because it's like a weird heavy on the raw input, so I don't know that these two are ever actually going to do anything. That's fine. Given the size, I mean, I could stick one up there, I guess. Oh no, it has just kicked in. Okay. But how are we doing with... Oh, it's stacked all the way along here, so they're not eating it that fast. Right. Glass. Let's get rid of the glass. Cool. Oh, that's fine. What else? Oh, that's fine. I've got plenty of room. Okay, so what was I going to do? Oh, big portable solar panel. Well, I suppose I could. Because a lot of these use electronic components, don't they, I think? Well, some of them do, anyway. So we could actually have an extra one of these. Don't need that bit, do I? And stick these in a box as well. Or if I want to make a few extra bits and pieces. Or I guess even if we wanted to double up. Or increase the old, you know, thingammy production, red circuit production. Right, yes, so... I mean, I might craft one of them just to see what it's like, because I've not actually... I'm still on heavy armour. So in theory I could make some... That's what we could do. We can make a little bit of modular armour. Given we've got some of these now. Because I found out last time, unlike normal Factorio, where you craft them from raw, these you upgrade. So you do light to heavy to modular. But it means I've got too many armours now. Right, so modular armour. Okay. More space. Oh, it's got a tiny grid. Huh, okay. I'm sure the grid is way bigger than that in normal Factorio. Yeah, it's not that tiny. So, let's craft one of them. I can't... Oh, I need silicon. Okay. Is that going in a box anywhere? I don't think it is. No, I'm not putting that in a box yet. Okay. Let's see. Maybe we could sneak one in there. How much silicon does it need? So it's going to need 4 panels. Why am I short on panels? So I need solar panels. Okay. So that gets me the 4. Then I need 10 electronic components. I guess we want a battery or 2 as well. Have I not got any batteries? Okay. We're making batteries, so I've obviously just not picked any up. Okay. So I've got some of them now, so we can make a big... I don't even know how big that is, I just want to... Which is why I want to make it, basically. So night vision is always useful. We want some of them. Now, what can we make now? So we're still making that panel. So now can we make that? We can. So it's a 2x2 grid. And it gives 192. Because they're one, well, they should be 1x1. And they give 40. So 40, 80, 120, 160. So it does give more, but not a massive amount more than putting 4 individual ones in. But that means, what does that mean? So I need a 2x2 slot for one of them. Battery will have, is presumably still 1x2. And the night vision goggles is probably 2x2 still, which is always bonkers. Oh no, it's 1x1 in this. Haha. Somebody agrees with me that a 2x2 slot for that is daft. Right. Let's put in... Because didn't we make... There we go. There's the, oh, the battery's 2x2 there. Okay. And the panel? Because panel should run both of them. 10 kilowatts and fill that up. Not that I've got anything else. I guess, I mean, in theory, I could make legs, or belt immunity might be useful. What's that? That's a 1x1. So let's make one of them then. Why have I not got legs? Why have I not got legs? Oh, because it's a chemical science. Okay. Oh, and I also need lube and stuff as well. Okay, so let's stack these up. Do we need that? I don't think so. Not really. So let's add that on. Now that we've got blue science, we need lube. We need electric motors. We need robotics. We need construction robots. We'll just have that for now. Research server. Oh, complex tech cards. We're getting a lot closer to the properly new stuff that I don't know anything about whatsoever. Portable generator. Larger. Portable generator capable of using more power for your equipment. Okay. Atmospheric condensation. Slowly pour gases directly from the atmosphere. Okay. Reinforced plates. Strong, smooth plating that is easy to walk on. For your poor little feet. Focus line. Oh, that's still the same lasers. Advanced materials. Oh, we can do another lab research speed. Excellent. Oh, advanced lab. A more efficient lab. Incompatible with basic tech cards. Okay. That's interesting. Electric mining drill Mark II. Right. Oh, that's the research survey. Yeah. Right. Okay. Low density structures. So, where were legs? Have I... No, I can't. What else do I need for legs then? Oh, advanced electronics. Okay, we'll add that on there. Right. We'll at least get that in and stop drifting down the belts. Did I put the night vision in? Yes, I did. Okay. It looks like there's a second... It must be a second level then, I guess. If it's got a -1 by it. Okay. Right, okay. What next then? I mean, we can't do bots or anything, have we? So we have unlocked stack inserters, which are obviously great, but I'm not fussed about building them. We don't get any logistic stuff till later. What else could we build? What else could we build? I mean, we could start working out, because I don't think there's anything we've unlocked that I actually want to build yet. We could start working out how many I want to make. The trouble is, not being familiar with this whole tech card system. Somebody was saying before that some of the lower level ones run out, but you don't need them basically. Because you do these like advanced things instead. And the technology stop needing, like for example, that very basic low level one. Yes, I'm wondering maybe are we getting to the point where is this like grey one, as I say, stops being used, as I understand it? In fact, is that the last technology? No, so the module 1s need it. What's that? That's the military one. So it might be module 1 level is where you stop needing basic cards. Because these are all the super high-tech ones. You see, I've therefore no real feel. So that's sort of the difficulty with the bus, and it's always the problem with the bus. Of like, how much of everything do you produce? So if we were to say that we were switching more to them, let's have a look at the tech tree. Because do red ones run out? These have all got red tech cards, so they do eventually, but clearly only when you get to the super end game. Railgun turret, crikey. That looks fun. Blimey. So even Spidertron needs red ones. Okay, so we'll plan for everything bar basic tech, I think. So we'll have the automation one. I could do this from the thing above, couldn't I? But we then want logistics. And I guess the military. And the blue. So the question, you see, is how much of everything do we need to support that? So, and what do we need to support that? So we need automation cores, beta research data, and we do still need blank tech cards. Okay. So, how many of each of them do we need? So we still need, well, basically, blank ones. We needed beta research ones. We needed automation cores, didn't we? They would be intermediates. Yeah. No, that's inserter parts. What else did we need? Biddly up. Got that. Automation. So we need red circuits somewhere. Well, we need green. We need red. So what are we lacking here? So we need copper cables, components, gears. It's quite a list, isn't it? So, in fact, let's take these over here. So it was gears. Did I already do components? No. Components. So I've got automation cores, beta thingies. So we need like the coke. Oh, cables I didn't put on, did I? So there's cables that we would need. Now, let's do it with stone furnaces. But we need a bit of everything here as well. So we need like coke, glass, silicon, iron, copper, and steel. What? Oh, I see. Okay, so this is a bit rubbish. So normally it would make it all visible, but instead it's just made it a little bit less dark. Okay. What did we actually research then? It wasn't the... It was the stack bonus, wasn't it? Okay. So, what's it looking like now? Oh, rods I've not got, and then there's the whole plastic products thing. Sand, silicon, quartz. It's quite a list, actually, isn't it? It's quite a list. So that means I need to build some of these other machines, doesn't it? So filtration, electrolysis. Got a chemical lab, I need more. Because what I'm going to do is basically try and work out how much I need for a bus, essentially, to support those, and then sort of add on extra things like inserters and stuff and belts and all that. So sulfur. I keep trying to close that with the E. Okay, but well like that. So if you were doing quartz, have I got one of them? Yeah. Didn't make a crusher, did I? I guess there's a greenhouse. Didn't I have 1 million of those? I don't know if these need to be added into the list. I think they do. Because the green circuit's used then. Electrolysis. There's probably an extremely dumb way of doing this, but it's the only way I could think of getting at it, as it were. I guess we would want reasonable scale production of them. So how many of those? I guess 2 of each, maybe, like we've already got. What else would we probably need? We would probably need good scale production of belts. And then the whole inserter question. Which inserters am I going to make? So I guess we're going to skip basics and just do long. We can put stacks on the list. I guess we need loaders maybe as well. I keep forgetting to use loaders. It's just not sort of wired into my brain. Let's do pipes at a reasonable volume. And I guess they're both for power poles. I'm basically just trying to get a feel for how many lanes I need. Basically. Guess railway should be on the list as well. Because some stuff, I'll just produce, with whatever I've got left over. But some things we do want to be able to support in pretty high volume production. Maybe I should put... No, we'll just have whatever we can make of them. I guess lights isn't a bad thing to just have on the list as a ancillary thing. Got all of them. Mining drills. What else? Anything? No, I mean assembly machines, which means both of those. I mean, let's put on all of the machines. Because like excess will just be used to make other things, basically. That's effectively how most buses kind of operate. Did I do chemical plants? I did. I don't have the recipe for those advanced labs, so I've no idea. I guess we could add engines. This is quite the list. I think this is a daft way of doing this. I mean, we're going to need inserter parts then to build the inserters. I already did electronic components, didn't I? I then got all of the chemical stuff. Oh, these are all the new recipes. Good. That. Some of those. Oh, so I can make flying robot frames. Lovely jubbly. What else? I guess there's... So thankfully we don't really need to support that military stuff. I think that's a big enough list to give me a feel for some of the numbers. The question is whether I've forgotten anything, essentially. Oh, didn't I make... Yeah, I made a crusher. You don't set the recipe on that, do you? No, you just feed the stuff in. So that's a bit pointless, I think. Oh, maybe if I put one in, it'll assume the recipe. I don't think it works that way, but... Oh no, there you go. So it's saying sand. Right, so what are the things going on here? Two assemblers have no recipe. Okay. You lie, game. You lie. Oh, I guess it means these, does it? Yeah, it must mean these. So that doesn't have a recipe. I guess this doesn't have one? Oh no, it does. There we go. There we go. So this is the type of thing I mean, that I would never guess that I would need 10, you know, red circuits. Oh, so it looks like you can actually support multiple blues with one grey. Interesting. And we need 8 machines making cores, and you know, we need 2 more batteries. So we need... Okay. So it's only 14... But I think that's effectively a belt, isn't it, of copper? So down one's... oh, crikey. Is that not steel beams? It is. Blimey. So maybe that's one we don't sustain, because it's probably going a lot into these machines, I guess. That seems excessive. 60 machines making steel plate. Although I guess I am using... Could I handcraft a few of them? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because that gives the 5, 6. That'll then give me the steel at the electric furnace equivalent, I think, right there. Assuming that operates the same way, which I don't know that it does. What does that look like now? Yeah, so slightly better. I mean, obviously I still need to feed it the amount of stuff, but in terms of number of machines, that's better, isn't it? I think. It might have been the same, but that's fine. Okay. Huh. So it's quite big numbers then. Have we got iron? Basically, what I'm really after is the iron and steel and copper and stuff, because that's mostly what we'll put on the actual bus. And so we'll build the smelting to support that, and But it's like that apparently 1 quartz machine or 2 quartz machines will do us type of thing. I think that's what that means. Wow, 10 pipes. Crikey. Where's iron plate? That's glass. So we need 10 machines making glass, okay. Wait, is that... No, that's steel, isn't it? That's steel. Oh, there we go. So I need 27. So it's effectively 2 entire smelting arrays. No, it's more than that, so it's more like 3. I assume it automatically factors in the fact that because the steel is made steel from iron clay? I've forgotten. Anyway, we've now got bots up and running. Is it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, so it looks like it's a slightly better ratio, is it? Okay, okay. Let's make some robots. To make construction bots, we need... Okay, it's just electronic circuits and flying robot frames. Flying robot frames. Okay, so they need electronic components, but are otherwise unchanged. Electric engines are the same. And engines, we already know, are slightly more generous in that you don't need steel. Cool. So ratio-wise, if we wanted to... Because I don't need to pump these out, I just need them to start being made... and just keep being made, you know, almost continuously. Okay, let's have a look at that as a build. So if we switch this machine to being the electronic components we need, what does that end up looking like? Did it? Right, so what did we need? We needed... Where are we? So we just need flying robot frames. So it's no different. So that's flying robot frames. Oops. And then this one will be engines. This one is engines, for example. So what's our ratios like? So actually we would be producing too much of those two, so we can actually support a second one of those. Is my understanding of what that's saying? Yeah. So we could support two machines making flying robot frames. Are they still super slow though? 20-second craft time. Half a second craft time, yeah. So yeah, so we'll make one every sort of 10 seconds effectively then. Okay, so how can we arrange this? I mean, it doesn't have to be here, obviously. It was just to make some for my personal consumption. So, how can we do that then? I guess a similar arrangement to this would work fine. Because this needs green circuits, so we can just keep them going. I do want... So, if this is the actual construction bots, this is the electronic components. Where are they? Intermediates, like that. And these are flying robot frames. And they need a whole load of other stuff. So this is the output here. Do you need green? Oh no, it's this one that needs green circuits, isn't it? Okay. So we could weave that up there. Feed those in like that, for example. So this will give it green circuits. Those will give it flying robot frames. We also then need to provide both of them with electronic circuits. So I'm thinking batteries. Effectively, this becomes a... You know, we can bring batteries and... Oops, plate in there. Because batteries we can just bring around. Plate we've got here. Bring it up like that. So I don't need millions and billions of these. So it'll be fine like that. But it also then needs electric engines. So if that was there, and then we did the same on the other side. So this will be electronic engines. Because that needs lube. We're not making lube yet. That's not going to be too hard to do. So this can go here. If you're making those, bing bong bing. Advanced electronics. Okay, so ducts. Right, so modules, I think, combined with those two, are the last. Oh, well, not two, last three, as it were. Ones that need the basic cards, I think. So they then become useless. Let's see. Let's see. But yeah, we can take this that way then. And that gets you green circuits. Obviously we need to feed in lube there somewhere. Because we need to go and make that over in the chemical area. So if this is normal engines, it needs both gear wheels and thingies. But we already know, because batteries could maybe come down this way. Oh, that's one short. Maybe if we just do that then. And then this could instead be a split. And we can bring because we need both. In fact, we need that as well. So let's do something like that, maybe. And then that's, say, pipes, well, gear wheels, pipes. Oh. So it gets you iron plate, gear wheels and pipes, you feed in there. Super. Away. There we go. Da-da-da. So I need iron plate coming up this way. Where's that about there? Oops. There. Oh, let's just take it up straight because we're not going to do any more tech cards or anything. So that gets them all iron plate. This also needs the green circuits bit. Do we want the beam? I guess we might as well. Other way around. Oh. In fact, actually, I could just use a filter. Like so. Pop that in there, get rid of that. So you've got greens, you are just lacking batteries, which we need to bring down. You're lacking lube. Okay. Oops. Right, so where are batteries? Batteries are here. So let's take a little split somewhere. It's inconveniently close to the pipe, so I'll have to do it there, I guess. I mean, actually, what I could do, we could turn this round, couldn't we? Do that. And then they're not aligned, plus I can move that up. Yeah. Right. No. Chop the tree. Don't make annoying noises at me. Okay. So that's batteries coming in. The other one we need to set up... I guess I should make a robot as well. The other one we need to set up is lube, but that requires us... I assume to do advanced oil. And advanced oil is going to need water. Which is up here. Perfect. Right. Let's take that. So that'll actually go all the way up there. I do like this, that it's sort of... I don't know bobs. I don't know about things like ionodons and stuff, but... I know bobs is like... It's not just painful things. There's like beneficial stuff as well, so... Level 2 miners and all that sort of stuff. Oh, it's a different colour. I wonder why that is. Just a stylistic thing. I have no ideas, but that's interesting. I'm just going to keep one of them on the old stuff because most of it's running on petroleum. I'm kind of guessing I can't actually support the sort of production I've done of lube and stuff, but we can give it a go. Right, so we need another chemical lab. We're also going to need to do something with light oil, aren't we? Otherwise it's all just going to get stuck. Okay. You. Right, so if this was our lube here... No, that's just heavy oil. Okay, cool. Just heavy oil. Okay, get some power on this object. Maybe a light. Do I want to take this up and... Is there any point adding it to the fluid bus such as it is? Okay. Is it worth doing anything else? We're not making military cards. There's no point just hammering these military techs because it wouldn't do anything. We could do something like that. Ducts. I mean, I want legs, don't I, really? Make my life a bit easier, and we should add things like that on. Let's do loggy robots as well. See if we can't make some of them. In fact, do loggy robots, are they just... Yeah, red circuits, okay. So it might be better to rearrange this to support both then. You know, rather than do... Oops. Oh well, we can have that still, but... So in other words, one going into loggy bots, one going into construction bots, and then how am I going to feed you green circuits? How am I going to do that? I mean, that doesn't have to be there technically, does it? How does that help me? That doesn't help me. Oh, it does, because I can just do that. Okay. So you needed green for construction. Did I make that? Have I got wires and stuff? Oh, I have. Lovely. Because this needs red circuits then if it's going to be loggy bots. So I could just pinch a few over there. Because it does, they both do still need robot frames, don't they? So maybe that could be a bit further up. Oh no, it's not going to reach. Okay. So if we hive off a bit of red circuit action there. Like that. Did that finish? What's it making? Oh, it's next. Okay. It still needs robot frames. Like that. But it needs red... Yeah, okay. It needs red circuits rather than green. Okay. Right, so we want to get some wires on these. Because we don't want it just to fill up. Everything with bots. I didn't connect the loop, did I? Right. So that's there. Okay. So you're not working. Why are you not working? Wait, have I done something dumb like this is steel? I have. Haven't I? Have I? Yeah, that's iron plate. Nuts. Okay. Okay. That's annoying. So this should be iron plate, not steel plate. What an idiot. I have to clean all that up then. All that. Oh, that needed steel. Oh. So, this was silly. Right, okay. So it did need steel. It's just that this needs iron, not steel. That was the error I made. Okay, fine. So we actually want iron here. And this does want to be steel. So I was right, but also completely wrong. Well done, me. Right. So that is steel. Now I need to get iron on there somewhere. So we could maybe just do that. Like so. Okay, so you need iron, but you need... Oops. That... Right, you know what now? Steel plate. Steel plate, yes. You're making electronic engines. Okay. You're waiting on engines. Have we got our first construction plot? Not yet. Are we done loggy bots now? No, we're still resetting. Right, let's do the logic things for this. So we want a road, read robot stats. We want available loggy bots and available construction bots. So construction is Z. I always try and be very deliberate with this because it's very, very easy to mess it up. So if Z is less than 100, feed them in. Okay. And then this one is X. So if X is less than 100, feed them in. Not that you can, because you're not even making them, but... Right. We have our first bots. Let's make some roboports to put them, get them all to work. So what's that? That's steel beams, iron gear wheels and advanced circuits. Okay. Okay. I didn't put that in as a splitter. That was genius. But we could potentially use that. In fact, if I maybe move this up here, we could use this line to make roboports as well. Because we've got iron and steel here now. Can I get that round there? So potentially... Oh, that'd be very messy. I mean, we could jank that over. Take steel up round here somewhere. Oops. And make these here. Oh, here. Move them across there. Like that. Have the iron coming up this way. I say we could sort of move this over. Give a little bit of room to play with. Now we can turn it into a splitter. And go across here. Like that. Okay. So if we want to make a few roboports, what do we need? We need steel beams and slabs. Okay, so we can have... Oh, that's not quite aligned, is it? Let's put that there. And then you can go there. So one of these is... Was it iron gear wheels or steel gear wheels? I think it's iron gear wheels, and then this is steel beams, and then this is roboports, and then this is a chest capped at 2. Then you need these two, don't you? Other one, that needs to be a long. And that's a straight. Okay, so that's a few steel beams. That's a few iron gear wheels. Obviously not at a rate that it'll support, but that'll support it. But we will trickle out a few roboports. I mean, we're not going to need a lot, but in fact, let's put some lights on it as well. Oh, okay. Have we actually got construction bots in the network? We have! Wow. 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 Right. Oh, legs finally. Oh, you need processing units, of course. So I can't make any of them anyway. Not yet. Oh, I can! Oh, of course, that's what advanced circuits is. Oh, we need rare metals now. Right. Okay. Ah, something else to play with. Storage chests, I suppose we should make them as well, shouldn't we? Is there an easy... What are they made of if we don't have... Oh, that's just steel plate, is it? Okay. I just thought it could fit in here, probably, couldn't it? So... Oh, just misaligned. Hmm. Just misaligned perfectly. So this would get us... But then that's not aligned, is it? Okay. Well, that doesn't even have to be an underground anymore. So we've got red circuits there. Green circuits there. So I could just take a little split. It's too close though, isn't it? Okay. In that case... Because that needs to be steel chests. And then this can be, well, I guess storage chest. Yeah, let's just go with storage chest for now. I can always swap it over. As and when we need whatever. That's one of them. Loggy bots, excellent, excellent, excellent. So, let's set that there. Why did we... Oh, was that the one connection? Okay. 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 Let's cap that at 1. You need that. You need that. Cool. Okay. Is that right? We've even made 3 robots. Look at that. Look at that. What achievement. I'm tempted to sort of hold fire. I mean, obviously robot speed is worth doing. This would appear to need some other tech. Oh, I didn't. So yeah. So we could do a couple of robot speeds. Could we do a carrier one? Yeah, that'll let us do that. But only one, because 2 it then needs whatever these purple ones are. Oh, it's just production. Okay. Then what are we into then? We are then into the unknown. Oh, advanced labs are just made from labs. Okay. A lab plus plus. Oh, I could also do another mining prod now, couldn't I? Okay. Okay. Yeah, right. So, I think we're in a position to think about this more seriously. So the question, as I say, it sort of becomes how many lanes of everything do I want? That's really what I was trying to get to. Oh, of course you can't shoot trees in this. So, while it chunks away making a few bots for us, if we were to say... Well, let me just check this, that I understand this properly. So, I think this is saying, to support what we've got here, we would need 3 more greenhouses. So let's plot 3 down. And I think it's saying that because greenhouses are used by the green circuits. Yeah, so we now have a surplus of wood. And the green circuits, we were down by 7 machines, basically. So if I put 7 more of these down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What does that do to the wood number, you see? This is the type of thing I'm not quite sure I understand. So it's now saying we're down by 4. Okay. So it doesn't automatically calculate the difference, as it were. Huh. Because that gives us the appropriate number of green circuits. Okay, so it doesn't sort of properly stack it down, the tiers. That's not quite how I understood it was going to work. Okay. We're going to need loads of everything, aren't we? Okay. Right. Not quite sure how to do that then. I think what I'm going to just have to do, basically, is just set up sort of a generic big bus, and then just build the lanes on as I decide I need them. So we're bound to need a lot of iron, we're bound to need a lot of copper, because you always do. For things like wood, I can kind of add in lanes as I need them. Okay. So how would we set something like that up? I guess if we just do, say, 4 laners. So it's just a set of those, basically. I've also no idea how many fluids and liquids there are and stuff. So I don't even know how big the sort of fluid bus would need to be. But we can have that on the bottom. And with the length of the pipes, it's not too much of a problem. So what I'm thinking is basically we have the bottom edge of the... Because I'm probably going to want that copper and that uranium, since they're nice and close. But we align the bottom of it with that, and I just do as many as I can, you know, up to that point, basically. Because we always landfill that. And that as well. But that then says where I can start building the smelting. And if we leave enough room, if we make all of the lanes a 4 and 4, it always gives us the option of sticking stuff in the middle as well. Obviously, I'm doing the 4 and 4. Oh, did I even pick up any roboports? So that I can basically take roboports down the bus as well. Because we don't need to put defences in here or anything silly like that. So basically, if you do these 4 apart, maybe we should, you know, to have lanes of roboports. Obviously, you wouldn't want them every time. That's to say, that's why it gives you extra options with, you know, additional lanes, however you wanted to do them, or just the one even maybe. It becomes a lot easier to manage when you get like blue belts and stuff, because obviously they can go bigger distances, but we can you can have these quite, you know, quite a lot of belts between them, and they still connect. Okay, so let's work out where we're going to put this, how big it needs to be. So do that, and we're going to have a look. Did I even ever build a car? I did, didn't I? Where did I put it? Any guesses? It's right there. Oh, it's here. You stood next to it. Let's nip up here. Right, let's pick up this junk as well. Can I build a roboport yet? Oh, it's impersonal one. If I can, I can't see it listed. Okay. Oh, it's there. That's fine. I've not done it. Could I even build it, though? Wait, vehicle roboport. Oh, okay. So trains can have roboports. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, of course, because they've got equipment grids. Excuse me. What's that then? Additional electric engine. Oh, okay. So you can make them faster by using electric engines. Right. Interesting. Interesting. Personal roboports are, I think, basically similar. I think. Anyway, let's go and see how big we can make this thing. Because if we're going to need these for blues, definitely want to have that available. I say I cleared all the trees out of pretty much all of this, so we shouldn't be in the way. Is this lined up? Yeah, so if we base it on the copper, we're not going to get in the way. If we leave a bit of room, sort of, in case it turns out, you know, we need to run some of the belts this way or whatever, I can't see that we would. If this is the bottom edge of the bus, how many of these can we get in? So, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, it would need to be the bottom edge of the fluid bus, wouldn't it? So, oh, I didn't pick up any. We're going to need more than that, I think. Because, I mean, say the advantage of the big pipes is that we could probably go right around that, so it wouldn't matter. Oops. Can't crash into everything. So, where are my pipes? They're down here somewhere. Where are you? Pipes. There we go. There's pipes. Let's get a load of them. In fact, might as well grab a bunch of belt as well. Obviously, we're going to swap these out for robo, you know, the logistics chests and get the bots to do the work for us and all that sort of stuff. But I need to plan it out first, basically. And then we need enough roboports to be able to get them up here and all that sort of stuff. So, I say, we'll give them a million billion jobs to do. Keep them busy. Can't have your robots be idle. Where did the car? Oh, it is. And then we can go and work out, you know, some of the smelting. Plan that out a bit. We don't actually know how you can process the, whatever it calls them, rare metals. Okay, so if the fluid bus side of things was, what's a reasonable sort of number to use? I mean, can I even look it up somehow? If we're in fluids or something, maybe? Ah, okay, this might be a way of getting at it, because you can presumably barrel every single fluid. Presumably. So how many are there? So we've got, oh, that's barrel and unbarrel. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no, got my count wrong there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That includes crude and water. But if we have a fluid bus of 18 pipes, what does that look like? 2, 4, 5, 10, 15, 18. Oh my word. Okay. Is that 18? Yeah. Blimey. Blimey. Okay. We then want to copy that. Now, are we going to need any space between those in particular? I normally do like a running path. Because that then also gives me a bit of room to do that sort of thing. We're not going to be as problematic with getting stuff across, are we? Because the pipes are so much longer. But do I want to balance things? Am I going that far? Presumably got my balancers already. So if we were doing that, we were balancing. Because we're going to need to take things into fluid production and all sorts, I would imagine. But if we were to leave enough room to do balancing, so that's an underground there. That's an underground coming out. Yeah, so we would want it to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is a bit rubbish. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. So if we then make this here. So that gives us enough room to balance or, you know, do whatever. Okay. How many of these can we put in then? So it's not, I'm not thinking I'm going to actually do a bus this big. It's just having the room to do stuff. I think we're probably roughly where the max size. So let's hop in the car, excuse me, and run a belt. Actually, can I do it from the map? So if this was like the max area, so it's about there, isn't it? Max area, max height. Let's just run the back angle. So that would theoretically be the highest, but again, if we wanted to... no. No. Belts, there we go. We need to balance on this side. Then we would have the same thing. So we would want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. But we want a running path as well. Where the heck are the stone bricks there? So this needs to be down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. But that's not aligned with that, is it? So... oh. So I could probably move this, and that gives room for doing stuff anyway. So effectively, end of the max lane is that one. And then, so there's the theoretical balancing. Whether I'll bother doing that or not, I'm not sure. Do, 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 do. But let's say that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we have the path. And that's it, basically. So we've got room for 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48. Why am I counting them when I can just do this? Because I'm an idiot, that's why. "64 potential lanes of stuff." That's an absolute monster of us. I wouldn't even do them that wide for normal Factorio, but what I'm kind of assuming is we'll end up with like machine cores and stuff on there. There seems to be a heck of a bigger demand for pipes and, you know, sticks and all that sort of stuff in this mod. So potentially what we're going to end up with is lanes doing things like, so, you know, because iron gear wheel, single iron gear wheel is 4 iron plates. So basically we would end up with, you know, 4 lanes of iron plates converting into 1 lane of, you know, gear wheels. So, you know, it's not quite as big as it seems. Oh, hello there, Solburn. How you doing? Welcome back. Okay, so if this is the theoretical size or maximum size that we could fit in, so I'm not actually anticipating it being this big, but that's our maximum sort of area. Right, so what we need to do basically is, it actually wants to start up here somewhere. But if we end up doing, you know, like a right angle, we need enough room to turn that around. So it could probably go over to here and do a sort of a, because I may end up wanting to grab that coal, since it's going to be right next to where we're doing smelting. We could do a right angle area here. So the bus is probably going to end up starting somewhere there, which is nice and close to where our bots are. How's my base doing? I see you're building a bus. Yeah, I kind of. I said on the before when we're chatting about it, but I'd like to give. I've never done, even attempted city blocks. So I'd like to give them a go, but I think it's probably a bit much to try them, and because I think city blocks would work. If I had all the, you know, blueprints already from previous games I played doing city blocks, then it would probably work really well, because I could just, you know, trains seem to be, you know, the track is just track. It's not, there's no super track, I don't think. So if I had them, I could stamp them down and do them, but I don't have them because well, part of my, you know, part of the point of one of my other series is that I don't have blueprints, so I'm making blueprints, you know, standard blueprints for myself. So yeah, so, you know, if I had them, that'd probably be a great solution, but I don't, so I'm just going to fall back on what I understand, as it were, which is a bus in a sense. But yeah, so this is our sort of maximum. I'm not in any way anticipating we'll get that big. But this is the sort of maximum space I've got for the bus. Obviously, say we got this lake here, so we kind of want to avoid that really. But we can always landfill as much as we need to in order to build. I'm sort of assuming I'm going to end up with, say, science on one side and other stuff on the other side. But yeah, that gives us a starting point. And I just finished earlier on. I finished building bots basically, so it's chunking away. It might have finished actually. Might have made them already. No, so we've only got 36. In fact, this doesn't appear to be working. It's not running for some reason. Okay, something's gone wrong there. Oh, it'll be light oil. I didn't do anything with light oil, did I? Is that all backed up now? Yeah. Okay, need to go and do something with light oil. Forgot about that. Let's go and do that then. Go and fix that. No cracking yet. I might have unlocked it. I don't know yet though. I mean, I'm on... I haven't set any up. No, I was going to. In fact, early on I made the very deliberate point that we're going to have to do something with light oil, and then I didn't do anything with light oil, so... is that a separate recipe? I'm not sure yet. Have I got any labs? I don't think I've even got any labs. Blimey. Let's just make a few then, since I've got a load in my inventory. Oh, I've got 2. Okay, so... Have I got... Oh, I have. So I got cracking. So we can just set that up, I guess. So we just do light to patrol, because these look like they're starving anyway. Am I backed up with... Oh, yeah, I'm not... I mean, because I've only got two things, and I'm not actually fussed about volume production yet. So we can just crack this light oil. Where would be a good place to put this? I think I'll just literally just stick it here, basically. Could maybe put it on the end. Or do I just want to put it in this gap here? I don't really need that. Oops. Don't really need that. Let's think. If I put that... Yeah, if we put it here, say... I say, I'm really not fussed about big volume productions at this stage. It's just we obviously don't want it stopping production just yet. Why did I not align that? Because that wants to go to there. So that's cracking. I could always turn it into fuel as well and stuff if we end up completely blocked. Oops. Oh, I've connected the wrong thing, haven't I? So that wants to be light. And that's water. Yeah, cool. Like that. Yeah. There. Can I weave that around without? Probably not. Let's just make sure it's well out of the way. I'm not connected to anything. So I don't do anything stupid. Okay, it's going to connect that in to here. Cool. Okay. Standard mid-level. Okay. Yeah, I've been quite pleased that quite a lot of stuff is standard mid-level or very, very similar to it. I can see why people recommend this as the your first overhaul mod, because it is sort of you know, it's not that different from vanilla in a lot of places. There's obviously quite a few introductions, you know, mineral water and whatever it calls it. rare metals and all that sort of stuff. So, but it looks like rare metals is just smelt them basically. It's not anything spectacular, I don't think. So you just put them in. I haven't got one. Yeah, so you just smelt them basically. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so let's see about getting these bots to build me this bus. Actually, let's go and find out the core. Let's find the corner. No, in fact, let's set up the blueprints first. Where did I end up with the car? There it is. There it is. Oh, she blows. Are there any chlorine to mine, do they? Oh, okay. No circuitry. As in, the only circuitry I've done is just on the bots there. I've not yet added that in. I mean, in terms of the... You mean in terms of the chemical stuff? Not... I can't be bothered, to be honest with you. It's all going to get ripped up in not too distant future anyway. But no, I've not put any circuitry. It's just let it pump through basically, because I say I've only got two of these running anyway, so it's not vast amounts of stuff. What are we doing? So let's go and find the edge. Hi, Ultimate Place. How you doing? Welcome back. Circuitry cracking, you only crack when there's enough of the source. Yeah, so I mean, normally I would set that up, and it will, I will have all of that on the go, but I can't be bothered just at the moment. Basically, I'm producing everything in such small volume that I know this in this mod, this is limited amounts of crude oil, but I probably may end up not really even using this because we've got some nice bits down here that I wouldn't be surprised if they take us through the entire game. So the actual oil cracking will be here. So I'm going to use this, but it's just I just need it to use it up before it hampers the sort of lube production basically. So it's fine. Like that. So this is our fluids. So we want snap to grid. Always does my head in this. So we want one like that, don't we? And then, oh no, I've done one. We want relative. And then we want that. Cool, so that's that one. Let's solve a Rubik's Cube, crikey. I didn't know they still made Rubik's Cubes, blimey. They were a thing when I was a kid, back in the ancient mists of time when computers ran on steam power and and gerbils in hamster wheels, or hamsters in hamster wheels. Rubik's Cube, blimey. I don't think I ever learned to solve a Rubik's. And there are techniques, aren't there? There's like because I know it's basically algorithmic. It's actually, as I understand it, quite a good introduction to algorithms and how they work. But there's like it's probably what you're referring to is particular moves you can do to get it into particular states, as it were. Right. So am I gonna? Yeah, I might as well. Okay, let's do. So if we do all of this, it's a bit bonkers, but all of this. Oh, I forgot to take them out, didn't I? Okay, let's get rid of that. And then we want a bit of here. Okay, are you going to play ball now? A while back. Okay. Doing 2 minutes, wow. World record is 5 seconds. 3. Blimey. Blimey, 3 seconds to solve a Rubik's Cube. I say I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever actually solved one. Oh, I just copied and pasted that rather than blueprinted it, didn't I? Idiot. Right, let's go up there. If I do tiles, yeah. Now we can sort of trim this back. I know there are other. So when they did, because I think it was the 1970s, wasn't it, that Rubik's Cube was invented? But it did a whole load of other toys, basically, or puzzles, or whatever you want to phrase them as. But I remember when I was a kid, I got something I think it was called a Rubik's clock. And it was like a set of dials, basically, that you used to spin round. Never solved that either. So I don't know if any of those are still popular. I don't imagine so. I imagine it's just the Rubik's Cube is the thing. But there was also one, I don't even remember what it was. It was a set of flat tiles, essentially, that you sort of flipped back and forth and around. It was quite a clever. That one I could solve. Basically, you so it was like 5 flat panels, and you used to be able to rearrange it into shapes, and it had like circular discs, like as in pictures, on the panels. Right. So if I want that there, so that would be like. Give me a bit of room, basically. So that's sort of as far over. But one of the panels looked like an Olympic ring, basically. It was one of those. So you would make different patterns and stuff. But I was always fascinated by how it worked, because it had quite a clever mechanism, because it was basically these flat panels held together with, how do you phrase it? Actually, that was too far, wasn't it? With bits of wire, essentially. Okay. So this is like the sort of maximum corner, as it were, because that then gives me an opportunity to, turn belts round effectively. Although actually I do want a bit more space than that, so that we can do balancing. So we take this as the sort of beginning. And so we'll do a bit and sort of set the bots going, but we're not going to. I think I'll have to break this down into several parts, because we'll just get them to fill in. What we need. A magnetic cube. Is that... So when you say magnetic cube, is that... Because I know it has like a ball bearing. Oh, it's not bearing, is it? It's like a gearing system in the middle. I don't know if you mean that. it's the internal component is a ball bearing, or is it? Because I know you get ones where you can actually. Because the only way I ever solved a Rubik's cube was basically levering out all of the all of the pieces and sticking them back in the right place. Because I mean, this was I didn't learn how to do it and all that sort of stuff, but. And I think you do have like magnetic versions of that, don't you? Where you can just like plop the pieces back in, because I know there are other patterns you can do with the cubes. It's not just red and green and all that sort of stuff. The stocks are rare. Yeah, I mean, I say it was fairly common. They did a whole. It was it was like as you'd expect. The Rubik's cube became hugely popular, and then I don't know if it was actually him or. Just his company sort of thing. But they then did a whole range of toys, and every year you would get this is the new Rubik's toy sort of thing. But yeah, I remember getting that and finding it. It was fast because it was like you basically rotated the edge pieces, and it, depending on whether you'd pushed in different buttons, it would move different clocks, and the idea was get them all to 12 o'clock or get them all. Because it was like a grid of 3x3, and some point down and some point up, and you could form different patterns with it that way. But Rubik's Magic, okay. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, I really love the flat panel one. Unfortunately, it broke. Basically, as I say, it was a really clever arrangement of. It was actually nylon, but it was wires effectively. As I say, I managed to break mine. So I don't even have that. It's one of those things I've kind of, you sort of wish you'd sort of kept, as it were, because they were interesting, So I want to use the word toys, but because they were sold that way, but interesting puzzles sort of thing. Do I have a bit about? I'm not really intending to build it this big. I'm just making enough space for it, basically. Oh, really? I suppose hardly ever using the blue belts and already unlocked green belts. Okay. The pieces magnetic. Okay. Yeah, this is sort of just the maximum size that I could fit in this space, effectively. I'm only really going to build probably this. But I didn't want to start it, Well, actually, we'll probably end up building. No, let's build it at the bottom. Didn't want to sort of put it in and then discover I needed more space, basically. But yeah, this is a bit bonkers in terms of scale. Right, so let's delete some of it then. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do say 6 bits, something like that. So I'll get rid of these. And then we want roboports positioned, hopefully, so that they can build everything. So if they're maybe in that row, because then they can at least. Well, I guess if I'm connecting things to the system, what we actually want is them in that row. Bing bong bing. Okay, personal roboports, lovely. What else have we got? This is one of the things I have. It's sort of one of my issues of Factorio in general. Like you're saying with the different belt levels, in that particularly in the base game, red and green science unlock basically everything. And it's like speed module 1 and speed module 2. You sort of unlock 2 before you've really even properly used 1. Certainly if you know what you're doing. I mean, it's more. I suppose it makes more sense in terms of timing and pace rather for a new player. But if you sort of just rattle through the sciences, you do end up, basically being able to make the high-level ones before you've even really used the low-level ones. And I'm not sure that's really great design, really. Do I want to bother unlocking anything else? I'm tempted just to leave it for the time being, and we'll get this stuff, get this sort of bus being made. Because I want to go and set up a bit of smelting, basically. Because I think I should be able to just use my existing blueprint that I've got. I think. I say, is there anything... I mean, we could do these. And then I could have a look at them. And how they work. So does the advanced lab, as an experienced person, can you... Oh, it says it's incompatible with basic tech cards. So what tech cards does it actually take? What can you feed into it? Many thanks for the permission to use this laboratory in K2. So it's just an acknowledgement. So do you have to have effectively 2 systems of science then for... Because these are all still basic cards, aren't they? So this one must be these higher level ones, is it? But then that lists the basic tech cards. Unless it means basic as in the level 1 tech cards. But I've done all of those researches now. I mean, obviously I can just research it and see, but... I think I'm just going to leave science for the time being. Let's focus on building this stuff. What I would do is rattle through the military ones, but I've not set any of that, set that production up, so it's not really... Oh, I guess we could do advanced material processing. And maybe the mining one? Is that just okay, so it's just an electric mining drill. So you said you needed chlorine for to mine rare things. Let's go and have a look, because that's nearby. So if I put... Have I got it? I have got miners, here we go. So I assume it just operates like... Okay, yeah, so it's flipped to the... Okay. Am I even making chlorine? How do you make chlorine? I think I'm just venting it, aren't I? I am. There we go. So we could set some of that up, couldn't we? Rather than just vent the tiny amount that I'm doing. We could get it chunking away on a bit of raw rare metal production. Because that's not that far. Okay. Why don't we do that just quickly? I'm assuming it's going to be a tiny amount of stuff I can make, because I don't even think it's really using the whatever else you get, not chlorine. That doesn't quite cover the patch, does it? That's annoying. That's annoying. Maybe do that. Okay. Oh, I've obviously got medium power bars anyway. Okay. Oh. I guess we're going to end up taking it, just smelting it here, probably. So if we take these belts the other way around. Just connect that. And we'll run the chlorine up. Where is it? Can't see it. Oh, here we go. So if I take that out and sort of just run a... Oh! I've connected that to something accidentally. So you reach up there, you will. And then... there. Like that. Where are we going? We're going sort of over that way. Oops. So we can at least get a little bit of this made, even if not massively sort of useful, but or massively needed. Just at the moment. There. Was that it? That was the sum total of our glory. Okay, so it's not even enough to mine one bit up. Marvellous. Oh no, there we go. Somebody's got a tiny amount. And then, have I got coal nearby? Yeah, we could take some off of here. Okay, let's use smelting column here. Oh, I don't really want something that big. So let's just plop it sort of here. Other way around. Like that. Maybe. And I can just delete out. Oh, it's not even going to support like 2, is it? But if we just do 4. Something like that. So this then is the input. That's the output. Needs to be coal. Across there. That. Got any yellow inserters left yet? Oops. So we've got like 5 bits, so it's a bit daft doing this, but whatever. So rare metals. So we can at least get a little bit of it, you know, made, basically. Okay, connect that across there. And then go and grab some coal. Take a siphon off of here. Take that up there, is that good? Oops. Okay, so advanced miners. What? Electric furnaces are exactly the same, are they? I think they are, aren't they? Stone brick. Because here you go, I mean, this is a perfect example. I've basically not used the steel smelters, because I'm going to set up a production for them. So I've just skipped basically straight past steel. Now obviously if I was Why is... Oh, of course that's not powered. Oops. You know, if I had threat from biters, I might want to do more production and all that sort of stuff, but... You know. I say, you know, that's... I don't know, that's a fair representation, because it is a bit sort of like... I already know that I don't need them, you know, so... I've sort of skipped it because I know I can skip it in a sense, but... Yeah, it's always seemed a bit odd to me that you can unlock so much from red and green science, basically. Okay, so... Let's set up a little bit of production for these guys. What do we need? We need stone brick, steel plate. So we've got that sort of in this area already. Don't we need red circuits? We do. They're there. So can I build something here maybe? I bet stone brick are on this bus doing nothing. Yeah, they are. Okay. So the option might be to take it up here. So we can probably... No, we can't. I've positioned those badly, haven't I? And I could stick in just a red. Just solve our problem with more technology. That's what we do. Okay, so we can have red... red circuits there. Pop that there. Bit of power. Let's try that again. In fact, I should be using chests. Okay, like that. You're going to make smelters. Also need those. Oops, those. Let's go and get you some stone brick. Oh, oh look, we've got line pollution going on there. Is that everything? That's okay. Let's find... In fact, let's just do it with a upgrade plan. So what stone boxes to storage. Steel. I don't think I'm using any steel, but steel's to storage. I should be able to make myself a personal roboport. Yeah, there we go. Am I going to be able to power that? Probably not, but we shall see. Right, so I'll put that in. So it requires 2 megawatts max, and I've obviously got 192 kilowatts, so it only support a tiny number of watts. But what I can do is just grab some out of here. Oh right, this only had... Oh right, this is a much smaller inventory in this. Okay. That's a little tweak I wasn't aware of. Is there like a level 2 roboport or something? I wonder why they've done that. Interesting. Yeah, so anyway, let's get everything graded where we need to. I've got so many chests kicking about all over the place. Putting things in. I think I've got them all. Cool. Okay. Where are you? You're down here. So I've missed 3 up here. 2 there. Cool. Now, where can we slot some robo ports in? About one there, maybe? And one over here? And in there? Oh, what are you all doing over there? Oh, they're looking for places to put the blooming... Because they're network bots, not my bots. I assume they were my bots. Let's just put a little chesticle area there. Where else might we need? I don't think there are any chests over here, are there? No. So this will be all fine without chests. So it's really this production area. We're going to need a few. One here maybe? No. Yeah, no. Down. I probably need both, so put one there. And let's tack one on the end there. So then that's pretty much covered all of that area. Right. So if we run a power line up to the bus, start of our bus, so just connect it across there. Then they'll get busy putting all these belts in. Crikey, it's 5:30 already. I'm quite enjoying the pace of this. I know it's relatively slow, but this is my first time fiddling about. Well, no, it isn't technically, is it? This is my first time doing it properly. And without the pressure from biters, I'm quite enjoying this pace, to be honest with you. Tomorrow I'm going to go back to the one of my other series, probably the Blueprint series. Probably do another test run of the blueprints after I fiddle about with them. Right, so we need just to, create that variety really, so I don't get the problem I had with the Mega Base series where I ended up getting bored with it, if I'm totally honest. Certainly overwhelmed, I think, with the scale of everything I need to do. I'm not quite sure how they charge if there is no charge available. I always suspect the game cheats with that. I know they queue up and stuff if your battery's out, but they seem to be able to charge even if you don't quite have the charging power. What are you moaning about? Oh, you're just lacking bots. Okay. So we want a whole bunch more robo ports. I want to connect the two areas up. How can we do that? Maybe let's start at the other end. There. Eventually order will be imposed, but so I'm quite enjoying messing about with rediscovering spaghetti, shall we say. if I do that, I think they're connected. No, they're not. What about one on the end here? Will that do the job? There we go. The bot should spring into action. We're going to need like radars and stuff as well, aren't we? Oh, I've got that advanced radar now. I forgot all about that. I'd be curious to know what the difference is. So can we make any of them? Have I got any? Has a single bit of rare earth been made? No, of course it has. Let's see if we can't get it to make at least one. This is just going to be lack of chlorine, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's not really doing anything because it's, you know, I don't know how complex balancing all the, because I know you can have flares on it, can't you? In fact, I was already using one of those flare stacks just to burn up the stuff you're not using. So we probably need to do something more like that, because this is presumably not making it because I'm not doing anything with the hydrogen. Yeah, because I'm not making any fuel, you see. So I think that's all that's being used for. Oh well. Let's just leave it then. But oh, that's the vehicle robot. Right. Yeah, I'm just going to leave science for the time being, I think. And we'll go and fiddle about with a bit of smelting for the last half hour or so. Because we should hopefully be able to use my train blueprints, existing ones. I guess I could extend this down, couldn't I? Do I have ore enrichment unlocked yet? I don't know. Let's have a look. Ore enrichment. No, I have not. So what does that do then? Enriching ores before smelting them greatly improves the yield, but produces some byproducts. Okay. Ah, okay. So how does that work then? You basically feed in raw... Oh, I see. So we put in 9 iron ore with some sulfuric acid and we get out 6 enriched iron ore. And what happens then? From enriched iron ore? Oh, okay. So that's how you get a one-to-one recipe, is it? Well, you know, effectively a one-to-one smelt, as it were. Ah, okay. So what's this dirty... Oh, okay. So this produces this dirty water. Dirty. Which you can then get... Ah, okay. So it's more like realistic, a little bit more realistic, you know, smelting, where basically you're taking, you know, raw iron ore, because the iron ore, you know, you would dig up. Oh, instead of 2-to-1, it becomes 3-to-2 instead. Okay. And then you can filter in 3 different ways. Oh, right. Okay. Huh. So that's going to need a bit more experimentation then for me. Are these just... Yeah, they're the same, but you know, the different materials. Okay. So we're going to need a whole load of chemical plants then, aren't we, to do that? Because I haven't been making those. Okay, let's research that then. Atmospheric condensation. Why do you need that for ore enrichment? It's just a coincidence, you know, not because that doesn't mention any weird gases. Ah, right. So you can make water without. Ah, so you don't need to pump the water. You can just condense it out of the atmosphere. Okay. Does it have any kind of hydrogen? But, you know, can we burn hydrogen to make power or anything? I don't imagine you can, because it's sort of counterproductive, but... Okay. Right, so let's research that one then. And then we need that one. And then we need that one. Okay. Right, we better let that go then. So I guess then in that case, we'll just get on working on this. Guess for rare metal enrichment. Can't burn hydrogen. Okay. Oh, my bots are... I don't want my bots doing it. Let's just pop that. In fact, let's turn them off. How far up do I want to take this? Let's just sort of take it all the way. I'll pop some radars on. And some robo ports. Oh, I can do the pipes as well. I forgot to do that. Let's take it up to here. Get rid of this. You see, you're all eager to go and stick things on and do your job, but I've then scuppered you. So, I mean, how is it actually charging? Let's just pick them up. Like that. And we can get that on there. Oh, is there a straggler? Cool. And then we can take some of this out. Carried away. If I accidentally put in some roboports where I shouldn't. How far can we go? There's no range extension or anything on the roboports, but let's do say 4. I'll give them plenty to do. Keep them busy. Oh, of course we're running out of power now. Oh, I always forget about the power. I mean, I've got loads of solar panels. So let's just set up a bit of solar panel building as well. I was going to add in the pipes, wasn't I? Let's add those on. Excuse me, I say give them plenty to do. Where did I put that? Because it wants to be... Yeah, it's just 2 down, I think. 1, 2, there. Oh. So, put that. Let's put it there. Give them plenty of work. And then we can use this area, solar panels. Okay. Right then. I wonder if we've made any... I don't imagine so, because I don't think we're doing anything with... No, we're just not using it. It's just fuel, and I'm not doing anything with fuel. Okay, let's go and get some solar panels and some accumulators. In fact, so rather than mess about with smelting, given it's sort of 20 minutes, let's make... I assume there's no change in the power ratios for solar panels or anything. Or maybe there is. 100 kilowatt. Huh, I'm not sure on that. We could just set up some crude and dirty ones though. Always forget about the power, you see. Always forget about the power. Right, let's just take a stack of them. Radars have much larger range and the black one even more. Okay, cool. Again, looks like the developer agrees with me then that the ranges are pathetic in vanilla. Right, so let's just make a couple of them and we'll plop them in so I've got remote eyes on it. What am I after? I'm after accumulators. I can never remember the numbers on that. In fact, why don't I just have a quick look? Let's have a quick look at that. So, if I go to cheat sheet. Oh, that's a fine. I've been doing this as I've got the wrong. This is going to change. Change ever so slightly. There we go. That's the proper display one. No, well. So, basic power. Solar panel. So it says there's 60 kilowatts. Oh no, that's different then, isn't it? Okay. Gonna have to do some maths then at some point. Oh no, dreaded maths. Fine. I say we'll just stick down some quick and dirty. In fact, I need to swap that, don't I then? If these are all the way up here. That needs upgrading. Get you to do that. And then we need to connect this. Why aren't you doing that? There you go. What's here? So we do that. And it's all on the same network. Cool. What was I doing? So if we just, we'll just do some horrible, quick and dirty panel builds, and then I'll math out the different ratio. I thought 100 kilowatt didn't look right. Looks like accumulators hold a lot more charge. So, let's start building these here somewhere. Where would be a good place? So if we maybe... So if we have a board there, and then one here. Then I can just plop in some panels. Because that goes roughly up to the edge there. Okay. Oh, forgot to turn them off. Always eager to help the bots. That's one thing I would say about them. Right. Pop that in there. Ooh. Okay, and then let's do a couple of them. Okay. That. Copy this up a few times. Cool. That'll do. So I'm just sort of throwing it in quick and dirty style. Should they be able to take that along the edge? Ow! I've not left enough room. Idiot. Thought I'd lined that perfectly, but it's one off. Oh well. Ah well. Right, we need to power these. Otherwise nothing will happen. There. Somewhere in the middle. Okay. So you gotta keep them busy, because idle hands and all that. Idle hands. Okay, let's get the radars in then. Oh yeah, that's enormously much better, isn't it? Way better. Let's put one up at the beginning. So let's put one in here. Find how far down. Oh, they've hardly done any of the paths. So. In fact, I think that takes us up to where I've kind of covered it off anyway, so let's go and find how far we can go down before, you know, so we get complete coverage. I'd like to have tested the advanced one, but I say I've only made like one bit of rare metal. So it would be here-ish. Well, let's see where it works out with the power poles, if I've got any. Yep, got any. Okay. So, sorry, I messed that up. So that would be that. Can I put you there? Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. Because it's only like 4 power poles or something for normal radars. It's something absolutely pathetic. Cool. Okay. How are we doing power-wise now? So we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, so I need to set up some chemical lab production, I guess. Are the advanced labs just upgraded normal labs? Advanced chemistry. Oh, it doesn't tell me. Do you not get the recipe from that then? Huh. How do you get... Made it advanced chemical plant. It's an advanced chemical. Oh, it's way down the line. I don't need to worry about that. No, it isn't, but immersium beam. Immersium gear wheel. Yeah, it's way down the line then. Okay. So I think our bots wasn't there some problem with bot production as well? Let's go and check that out. Right. So are we making robots? Because we didn't appear to be making robots. No. So we lack robo frames. Oh, that's just because it takes ages to make them. Okay, that's fine then. So it is making robots. And that's all backed up because we've got 100 loggy bots in with nothing to do. Cool. I've made some of these as well. Brilliant. Right, let's set up some chemical plant production then. So we want steel beams, steel gear. In fact, I should probably make most of these now, because the numbers are clearly sufficient to actually sort of justify making them, and they're all fairly normal ingredients. I can just do off of the minibus. Oh, there's this in the way. Can I stick anything in any gaps? Not really. Okay, let's just get you lot to pick all that up. Trying to get a feel for how much I would need of everything, but it ended up being quite confusing. It's way down the line. I'm not even close to that, and I finished all research up to yellow. Oh, right, okay. So how, I mean, in your sort of estimation, I mean, how much does Krastorio add in terms of endgame? I mean, is it sort of, what do you think, sort of twice as long again, or half as long again? I know, or I believe, my understanding is that you can do like, there's like infinite ore production, isn't there? That you can end up basically effectively turning energy into, power into ores rather than, unless I'm completely, that was something I think I saw on, I can't remember who was streaming it, but I think that's what was going on. So, steel and pipes. So can I do that from here? Because I need... No, they're regular pipes, aren't they? Oh, I've got iron there, though. So what I'm thinking is maybe just turn that into a split. And then we can maybe take that down there. What's the commonality? So they've got... So we lack bricks. But we can get them down easily. Because we've got iron plate here. So if we could get bricks down here, we could make plants and refineries. I haven't got copper. Well, we got copper there. What about... So that does need copper. That doesn't, though. That needs engines, but that's okay. So it looks like we could probably make all of these in this area. There are 4 extra packs, and I don't know what happens in the end. Okay. Try not to look too far. It's fun finding out stuff. Yeah. No, I was just wondering. I didn't know if you'd played through before, sort of thing, or if it's your sort of first time through as well. Or so I don't remember a lot from that stream I was watching, but I do seem to remember there's some, all of this magical stuff at the end. There's all sorts of interesting things going on. Well, you can actually see them, basically. These blue things, it's some special magical things, basically. I don't know how it works, but so I think there's infinite ore, in a sense, through some kind of power conversion, but I'll have to see when I get there. Right, so we want to make labs. And to make labs, we need both steel beams, steel gear wheels. Okay, so might be better if this was not there. And then we can just make steel beams, steel gear wheels. And then we can make labs. And we can make iron pipes. Iron pipers. So we could maybe do... That's iron pipes there, not steel pipes, iron pipes. Then this could be... In fact, is that the only one that uses brick out of these? Yeah. So we could make this one. Look at that, and then we only have to bring brick down here. The same stuff. So we got steel beams, steel gears, and we got the same thing for you. Just make this a little bit tidier. So if that's oil refineries, that's chemical plants, that's iron pipes, that's, oh, it's already done, and then that's steel gears. Cool. You want that? Oh, yeah. And then we're gonna have to have a chesticle. You want them. Put that, say there, and there. Right, we should get rid of that. Always forget where the logistics stuff is. There. What I was gonna do with the smelting was actually convert it so that it uses loaders. That's kind of what I was going to fiddle about with, rather than the fact that it's a different recipe and stuff. Because I'm sort of rather aware that I've sort of not actually done anything with all these loaders that I've made. Right. So 2 of them, 1 of them. I probably want more of both if we're going to use like 1 million labs and stuff. Okay, so that's those 2 being made. How are we doing on time? Crushers need copper. Electrolysis needs copper. Filtration plant does not, though. Neither does an atmospheric condenser. But that does need green circuits. So, if we make... Oh, I didn't give them automation cores, did I? Right, okay. How are we going to fit that in then? We could cheekily move that over. And take this round here. Like that. Like so. Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Bricks. Got the bricks. Where are the bricks? The bricks are there. So we could sneak those out there. Nope. That. Let's be here. So you need bricks. Like that. There we go. Trains are kind of cool here too. You can put a lot of equipment on. Yeah, I saw that at the end of I think it was a stream. That was last stream, where trains have grids, don't they? Which I was a bit staggered by. I was well, well, not staggered by, but I was a bit sort of interested by, because you can also put like roboports on them and stuff. So I assume you can sort of use them like Spidertrons, basically. But there's like an advanced engine, isn't there? Whatever it calls it, something like that, where you know, you can speed them up that way as well. Filter on the chests. Oh yeah, I don't have to bother with that. But yeah, I should do really. But yeah, I just don't usually bother, because I've put a bunch of to put any crap in. I say this is all going to get torn down anyway, so it's not a massive issue. But yeah. Different rails. Oh, that, yes. So you mean these ones here? So these are bridges, basically. So this is lets you build bridges across water, basically. I mean, you know, we may not need to use it, but I'll probably deliberately use it. So we'll put some, you know, paths that go across bridges just deliberately. But yeah, these basically let you build bridges. It's a bit cheeky in that it calls it a beautiful bridge. It's a bit sort of presumptive. But yeah, they basically allows you to put the trains across water, basically. I didn't actually... I had thought about putting the boat one on as well, but... why are you not... Oh, you are. You're just slow. Okay, so what did we need to do? It's actually 6 o'clock. I need to stop, but I was a tiny bit late starting. This is this thing of it not showing you the barreling recipes, isn't it? Why it's got the exclamation point. Yeah, cool. The vehicle roboports are huge. 100 bots in a large area. Wow. I mean, why not use red chests then? I could do. I just set up storage. I've only got one. There's only one place making them, because I just squeezed it in, basically. And obviously, I mean, they need storage anyway, so, you know, did that. And I just, you know, it's just laziness. So you need to bear in mind with me is I'm often quite lazy, and it bites me in the butt, because then the laziness that I've thought I've saved myself some time on has just actually cost me a whole load more time to do a load of stuff. It's kind of my one of my main problems. It's like the, you know, well, yeah, like the Mega Base series, where what I should have done, one of the reasons, because I say I moan about, you know, it's not moaning, but saying it took me, you know, I spent a long time doing it, and, you know, I got a bit bored and all that sort of stuff. Well, what I should have done a lot of the time was like completely rework my design. So, you know, spend, you know, a couple of hours reworking an idea or a design or concept. But that's not what I do, because that's, you know, harder work in a sense. It's not in the long run. It's that thing of spending an hour to save yourself 10 hours. And I'll often not spend the hour, and I'll spend the 10 hours instead. I say, I don't know, it's just... I don't think about it sometimes, but I should do, as it were. So it looks like chemical science is all just jammed up anyway, because we've not got any sulfuric acid, because, presumably, it's all being eaten up in things like batteries and all that sort of stuff instead. Oh, heavy oil stopped. Of course it has. Okay. Okay. So there's another problem. So that stopped because we're not using lube, basically. Oh well. It's all problems, isn't it? All problems. So what I could do, because how much lube do I need? Because I could just convert this back to regular processing. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Crack it into light. Yeah, that's what I should do. But if that's what I will do. But especially now that we've made some chemical plants. But anyway, that's it for today. I'll be back tomorrow with more Factorio, but it will be a different series. I will switch over to probably the blueprint series that I'm doing, the standardized blueprint type thing. I hesitate to call it base in a book because it's not quite what it is, but the series where I'm making some standardized blueprints for myself, we'll switch over to that, and I'll probably do a trial run of the blueprints again because I did do some correcting of them basically. It'll also sort of help this one because I'm anticipating that I can use the train ones, but I need to test the train ones. The thing is, I'm not sure we'll get that far tomorrow. We could just pick, what we could do is pick up the other test run I did and just, anyway, I'll think about it and decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. But yeah, I'm hoping that all the, obviously all the rail blueprints are okay and I can just import them into this game and we can use them as is, basically, because I can't see any differences unless, we could convert we could use loaders and stuff like that instead, but that's a relatively simple change compared to redesigning all the rail stuff, given I know it sort of works, as it were. But yes, so there's obviously a load of problems as well we need to fix, as you say. We need to crack the heavy into light, and I need to finish off building all these production buildings so that they're ready to go. But yeah, the next big goal is to set up the smelting and the oil processing so that we can actually get that bus up and running and start making stuff a bit more efficient rather than all the spaghetti I'm currently doing. Yeah, so say tomorrow the stream will be the blueprint in a book series. I'm more than happy to talk through those because that's a bit of a weird series where I'm doing it quite randomly and doing a lot myself. So I'm happy to talk through, what I've got built up with them because it is a bit confusing because it's not like it's like a starter base and a bot base and all that sort of stuff, and it's very squished together. It's very compact, so it's difficult to see what's going on really. But yeah, so we can go through that if anyone's interested in watching that. And then Monday, back with more Dyson Sphere program. We will be setting up the lava planet on Monday, which should be fun. I've not managed to play with the magma powered generators in Dyson Sphere program yet because I've only just found a magma planet. So we'll do that on Monday. If we get through that, I don't suspect we will, but if we get through that, then we'll move on to purple science, I think. But that'll need the planet setting up for purple science, so that won't be in just that stream. Yeah, and then next weekend I have some holiday. That probably means I'm not sure. I'm meant to be going and seeing someone, but it looks like that's probably cancelled. So I might just do normal streams, but given the Monday and Friday are constrained by work and I won't be working, I might do 3-hour streams then for Dyson Sphere program because we're getting really close to actually scaling everything up and making the Dyson Sphere. So it'd be quite good to make a bit more progress on that. But yeah, so that's the plan. Just basically normal. The schedule was just the usual stuff. Yeah, so for everyone who has been watching, thanks for doing so. Hope you've enjoyed it. You might consider coming back for another one. And thanks for Solburn for chatting, in particular, giving me lots of tips. It's always appreciated. because I don't quite know what I'm doing with this this mod. And everyone else who popped in and chatted and etc. etc. So yeah, so I say if you've been watching, if you enjoyed it, you might consider coming back with another one. I've been Trismegistus. Oh, I guess you can find my VODs if you really wanted on YouTube. I archive them all on there. So yeah, I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.